Hi, it's Paul Hurst here, twitter.com/from Paul, or if you're on YouTube, youtube.com/from Paul's iPhone. Just wanted to briefly take you through some of the nice new things that I've found on the internet that's related to Twitter. A lot of people ask me why I like Twitter so much. Sometimes I can't quite put my finger on it really. It's just kind of, well, it's dead cool, and you can't really explain in 140 words or less why Twitter's so good. But I think these websites might explain a little bit. This is the standard Twitter we all know and love. The standard layout. You type at the top there, your tweets come through on the bottom section, and on the right hand side you've got access to the search facility, the trending topics, etc. Nothing new or novel whatsoever there. But Twitter have released the API, which is the bit that makes Twitter work. And that means that other developers can code different things that take advantage of the Twitter API. And I want to show you a few of them now. I'm going to start off with this website. It's called Brizzly, and it looks a little bit like Twitter. It isn't. It's very different. It allows you, first of all, to go into much more detail about what's trending and why. That's this section over here, excuse the finger. This allows you to click on why are these topics trending, and then actually read some information behind the trend. And that's really useful because sometimes you see really obscure words on there and you think, why are people writing about that? So that's a nice feature. It also allows you to put people in groups. I've got 5 groups. You can have a maximum of 5. I've got journalists, clergy, politics and politicians, news feeds, and the obligatory celebrities are on there as well. So this allows you to kind of add people to various groups, so that if you want to find something in a hurry, find out what people are saying, then you can just click on the groups and be taken to the relevant information nice and quickly. Now, moving on from that a little bit is this website. It's a little bit different. It's called TwitScoop. Once again, you link it to your Twitter account and it accesses the API. What's different about TwitScoop is on the right hand side here, this is actually in real time. And just like the tag clouds on blogs and things like that, what happens is these words shrink and grow in accordance to how popular they are on Twitter at the moment. So it gives you a real-time indication as to what's trending, which again is really interesting if you're nosy or you're just interested in what people are talking about on Twitter. Then this is a really good website that can help you find out what's what. And then, of course, on the left-hand side of the screen, you can type away and let people know what you think about those topics as well. It's a bit more graphic. Admittedly, not much going on with it at the moment. Isn't that typical? But it's not uncommon to see these words, like I say, shrink and grow in accordance with their popularity. Next up is a website. These are all web-based, by the way. That is very, very nice indeed. It's called Twitterfall. I can't imagine why they've called it that. Twitterfall basically shows tweets as kind of strips that fall down the screen. They don't have to, that's customizable. But basically it allows you then to kind of limit the information that is actually displayed. At the moment, it's set to display everything. So any tweets that are coming through, it's grabbing one every now and again and just popping it onto the screen. You can see these are green kind of sections that have just appeared there. Those are actually people that I follow. So you can see that Darren from the BBC has commented that Newsnight will be covering some kind of legal story on BBC Two, possibly the second item. I'll go into a bit more detail on that, but that's what those green bands mean on that. Very nice. You can search, limit the search criteria, and just get this to update with tweets that are relevant for the information that you want. A really nice way of finding out specific information pretty much in real time as it comes in. Which leads us one step further on. This website is a new service but it's fab. It's called TrendsMap, trendsmap.com, and it basically allows you, if I click on the world, to see what's going on in the world according to Twitter. So you can see again the trending topics that go off the sides of the text, and it gives you a snapshot into what's popular, what's being spoken about on the messaging service. And again, these grow and shrink and move and kind of take on a life of their own on the website. And if I just move over to the UK, to my beloved home country, find the United Kingdom. I don't live in America, as you can probably tell by the accent. So let's move over to the UK, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see what's going on. And what I can tell you, as you zoom in, obviously the tweets alter, so that it takes on a more kind of a local view of what's being spoken about. And you can see them all moving about, different people tweeting about it at different times, things growing and shrinking. I want to come back to this story about Newsnight. I mentioned it before. I mentioned one of my ex-colleagues was tweeting about it earlier on in this video. This time when we click on Newsnight, which is just down here, excuse the fingers again, this time something very exciting happens if you're a bit of a geek like me. This little window opens, and what happens now is any extra tweets that come in that are tagged with Newsnight, well, they appear on that little window there, and that means it's nice and graphic, but it's so geeky that it's absolutely fantastic. It means if it's being spoken about, if it's popular, then you can watch, and there's all kinds of graphs and everything at the top. So it's a real geeker's paradise to look at what people are talking about on Twitter. If I just very briefly go back to twitter.com, you'll see that obviously none of that comes across on Twitter. It's just a static thing, but these websites, like I say, they really do take Twitter to the next level in showing you just how many millions of people are talking about millions of different subjects, and how that information is now being put across in a much more user-friendly way, much more visual and easy to understand just by looking at something, let alone reading it. And very quickly, I just want to touch on something else which is useful. Based on that, it's called Newsmap. This is like Twitter, but it's RSS feeds. And basically, it's a website that offers you a visual representation of what's popular in the news. It isn't Twitter. It isn't based on what people are tweeting. Rather, it's based on what people are writing for the official news agencies. And it's exactly the same format about size, colour as well, goes on to the topic and things like that. Very, very interesting, very geeky, but as well, really, really something that I quite kind of find interesting. So that's pretty much it. That's enough on that. I hope that next time somebody asks me what's so good about Twitter, I might remember to point them in the direction of some of these websites. But in the meantime, I will always post them on my Twitter account too. I might even blog about them. So if you want to follow me, then please do feel free. I usually return the follow. So it's twitter.com/FromPaul. Or if you want to follow what I do on my iPhone, then it's youtube.com/FromPaul's iPhone. Thanks a lot.